Yo, 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 what is going on, everybody? It is Chad here with another In the OT podcast for BetHubSportsBlog.com. Finally, the Western Conference first round series have come to an end, and both Los Angeles teams were victorious in their game sevens, which means they will be forced to go up against the two favorites left in the Western Conference. And we will start by breaking down the number one seed San Antonio Spurs taking on the Los Angeles Clippers. And I believe that the San Antonio Spurs will roll in this series. There's a number of reasons. We can first start off by the fact that they're way fresher here. They swept the Utah Jazz. They've been waiting around for a while, and some of those veteran players definitely needed that rest. On the other hand, you have the Clippers that blew that 3-1 series lead only to be forced to go to Game 7. A very physical, defensive, low-scoring series with the Grizzlies. They got banged up. They got nicked. Guys like Chris Paul played through injury. Same with Blake Griffin, Kenyon Martin, Caron Butler. So if you had any chance of beating the Spurs, it was going to require them having full strength. And that's the first issue I see being a problem there. And then when you just look at what the Spurs have done this year, it's been nothing short of phenomenal. They have the best record in the league. The Bulls did. They did in the West. And nobody talks about them. They just don't really get the credit they deserve. Everyone's talking about Oklahoma City being better. But you know what? I'm not going to concede that quite yet. I still believe the Spurs are the best team in the West because of the fact that they have so much depth and they have a great mixture of veterans along with young players. When you think of this team, most people just generally believe, oh, it's the Spurs of old. They just play good defense, a half-court team, Parker, Ginobili, Duncan. But what they are not understanding here is the fact that they have done such a phenomenal job of bringing young players, and they brought in a couple more veterans at the trade deadline this year. You've got Popovich coaching at an outstanding level. They have so many players, so many diverse lineups that I just don't think the Clippers are going to be able to match them in any way, shape, or form. I mean, if the Clippers were going to have any advantage over most teams in the league, it would be at the point guard position with Chris Paul. Well, last time I checked, Tony Parker only finished a vote behind him in the MVP voting this year. So that means that he is a premier point guard that can play him pretty tough offensively and defensively. And even Tim Duncan in his older ages is still going to be able to maybe outsmart someone like a Blake Griffin right now. But that's just not where it ends. When you look at the scrappy players they have with the DeJuan Blair, Tiago Splitter, a Kawhi Leonard, these are the youthful forwards that I love with this team that just brings so much energy to the forefront. I think that they will eventually wear down the Clippers in this series. And then you look at the fact that they have some great outside shooting with Danny Green, Manu Ginobili, and Gary Neal. That was a number one area that the Grizzlies were not able to put away the Clippers with, because in so many games they had leads. I really thought they were the better team in that series and should have won, but they went on way too many lulls offensively that it allowed the Clippers to stay in games that maybe they shouldn't have. They took their foot off the gas pedal. The loss they had in the first game of the series really came back to haunt them. That will not happen with the San Antonio Spurs team. They were the highest scoring team in the league this year. Dating back to the regular season, they've won 14 games in a row. They are just absolutely on fire right now. And I expect that to continue here. I honestly think they could sweep the Clippers, but I still believe that they do find a way to win one game at home. But this team is just too deep here. The fact that they don't really have that ultimate superstar on the team makes them overall better team. And in the event that one guy has an off day, it doesn't matter. They just have so many other guys that can step up. When you look at a team like Oklahoma City, if Durant or Westbrook has an off day, it could be trouble for them. For the Clippers, if Paul has a bad game, or Griffin here, it's like, who else do they turn to? DeAndre Jordan really hasn't done all that much. He's not living up to the expectations based on his size, pure athletic talent and ability, and that will end up hurting them there. Also, you look at the fact that there's a massive, massive coaching advantage for the San Antonio Spurs with Greg Popovich against Vinny Del Negro. I just feel like the Clippers did not play great overall basketball. They just sort of squeaked by, and I expect to see some of those outside shooters that got hot with Nick Young and Bledsoe a little bit, and Mo Williams taken out of rhythm, because the Spurs are going to push the pace like they've done all year, and I don't think the Clippers have the horses to match up with them. They definitely don't have the depth off the bench. So give me the San Antonio Spurs to win this series in 5 games. And now we move on to the second series here, which sees the Lakers taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder. And I do believe that the Thunder do roll in this series. I believe that Durant, at this point in his career, is better than Kobe Bryant. And that's the only area that you could maybe say that when the Lakers would go up against anybody in the league that they would have an advantage with. No, the best scorer in the series is on the Oklahoma City Thunder, and so is the second best scorer in Westbrook, and so is the third best scorer in James Harden. They have the three best offensive players. They're fresh. They've had a week off. The fact that they didn't even play good the first two games and they still won, then the confidence picked up when they beat Dallas those two games there, and you would believe that the Lakers are supposed to have an advantage now in the paint. But guys like Perkins or defensive specialists, they will irritate the likes of a Bynum and a Gasol. And the problem with those two guys is they're just too inconsistent. They got away with it against a team like Denver, who doesn't have as much size down in the paint. But it's not going to work here against a veteran like Perkins, who knows them from the Celtics series as well. And Ibaka's got enough athleticism, too, to play defense down there. Collison off the bench. This team is too young. They're too athletic. They'll eventually run them off the floor. I saw a little bit of hot shooting from the outside guys from the Lakers in the last few games. I don't expect that to keep up. And the Lakers are just not, they're just too much. They're too inconsistent. Just the mindset that they had when they were up 3-1 with Bynum coming out and making those comments. I just don't see them being on the same page. Oklahoma's just too hungry right now. Who's going to guard Westbrook on the Lakers? Ramon Sessions, give me a break. He's going to get absolutely schooled. Durant will take care of Kobe. Harden, they've got no answer for the Lakers off the bench. Metapiece can play a little bit of defense, but he's so bad offensively. He can't make shots. He misses free throws. I just think that the superior team here is the Oklahoma City Thunder. I do believe the Lakers have a pretty strong home court, so they should win a couple of games in this series. But give me this young buck upstart Thunder team with a bit more rest here to win this series here in 6 games. So those are my predictions here for the second round, the Western Conference semifinals. Should be some exciting basketball here. I've got the Spurs in 5 games going on to meet the Thunder, who will win their series in 6 games. Chad, in the OT podcast, BetUpSportsBlog.com. Make sure to cash in on some of these bets. I really have a tough time laying big points at home with these teams because, they don't care when they're up by 12, 13 points with a minute left and the backdoor covers. But on the road, I definitely look to play the superior teams here when they're usually laying a cheaper price or probably even catching a couple of points as well. And in particular, I do believe that we're going to see some overs here, especially in the first few games as the teams coming off their Game 7 losses are not going to be able to match that intensity after what they went through. So those are my betting tips right now. Make sure to keep checking out the website, guys. Absolutely appreciate it as we continue to pick up steam and break down these exciting playoffs that are moving along at an absolutely staggering pace.